Hello everyone, let's now discuss plasma in detail. In the previous segment we have seen there is 90% water, proteins, inorganic ions or substances and other things. In this segment we will discuss all these things individually and understand their roles or what functions they are playing in blood. So let's talk about the inorganic substances or ions first. These substances are mainly the ions like sodium ions, chloride ions. These ions are present in higher concentration in blood and responsible for maintaining the ionic balance in the plasma or blood. The other ions like calcium ions, they are present in less concentration but they are present. Potassium ions, bicarbonate ions. And when we talk of bicarbonate ions, the respiratory gases like carbon dioxide is carried out through the blood as bicarbonate ions. So these are main ions which are present in the plasma and these come under the category of inorganic ions. Next thing which is present in plasma are the dissolved gases. The respiratory gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen, the small quantity of these or the small percentage of these gases is present as dissolved gases in the blood. So oxygen and carbon dioxide are present as dissolved gases. Next thing which is present or comes under the category of plasma is a certain wastes like urea, uric acid, ammonia and creatinine. These wastes are carried to the kidney and from the kidney they are removed out from the body. So this transport of these wastes is carried by the blood from the places where they produce to the places where they removed out from the body. It is these wastes are carried out by the blood. If these wastes exceeds their limit in the blood, then that condition is known as uremia. Or in other words, if the person having the higher concentration of these wastes in the blood, then that person have to suffer from the uremia disease. Next thing which we are discuss or comes under the category of plasma are proteins. These proteins are present in plasma, that's why we call them as plasma proteins. And we will classify these proteins under three main categories. So the first proteins which is present in plasma is serum albumin. It is also known as albumin. And its main role is osmoregulation. Now if we understand the meaning of this word, the osmoregulation, it actually holding the water into the blood. So serum albumin helps to hold the water in the blood. If there is a deficiency of albumin in the blood, the water does not hold the water properly, then the water comes out from the blood and accumulates in the tissues, and then that condition is known as edema. In other words, if the person has less concentration of serum albumin in the plasma, then that person have to suffer from the edema disease. In this disease, the blood gets accumulated in the tissues. The blood is not able to hold the water in them. The next protein which is present is serum globulins. Serum globulins are also known as immunoglobulins. And we write them as Ig. As the name tells us, immunoglobulins helps to provide the immunity to our body and thus acts as antibodies. Antibodies helps to provide us the immunity against the external antigens whenever they may enter in our body. So the next proteins which is present in plasma is clotting proteins. Again, as the name tells us, the clotting proteins helps in the clotting of blood whenever there is a cut in the blood vessels, and these proteins are fibrinogen and prothrombin. And we will discuss about these clotting proteins when we will discuss about the clotting mechanism or blood clotting mechanism. These two proteins are present in the blood whenever there is a cut in the blood vessel or arteries or veins. These proteins becomes active and helps in making the blood clot, so there is no blood loss from the body. So these are three types of proteins, or we can say the plasma proteins, which are present in the plasma. The first one is serum albumin, which helps in maintaining osmoregulation. Serum globulins, which acts as antibodies and acts as defense mechanism of our body. Next are clotting proteins, which helps to blood clotting. Next thing which is present in blood or plasma are anticoagulating proteins, anticoagulants. Sorry, these are not proteins. Anticoagulants are like heparin. Anticoagulants are present in the plasma and helps the blood to not clot inside our body, so that the blood gets circulating smoothly in our body. Whenever there is a cut in the blood vessel, the function or the role of this heparin is reduced or suppressed, and in that situation the fibrinogen and prothrombin, that is the clotting proteins, becomes active and helps to make the blood clot. Otherwise the heparin enzyme or coagulant becomes active inside the body and does not let the blood to clot. Next thing which is coming under the category of plasma, the plasma helps in uniform distribution of the heat, like uniform distribution of heat. The place where the heat is produced is carried out by the plasma, and we know that no metabolic reaction is efficient in our body, so the sum of energy is converted into the heat at certain places. So where the heat is produced is carried out by the blood and thus uniformly distributed in the body, and thus helps to maintain the homeothermy. Homeothermy is the state of maintaining the uniform temperature in our body. If the blood does not take the heat from the places where it produced, the heat gets accumulated in that area. The temperature of that area as a result increases, and we know that enzymes are very specific to the temperature, so they would not function. So the uniform heat or uniform distribution of heat by the plasma is necessary for maintaining the regular or uniform temperature of our body and also the function of enzymes. Now the next category of substances which are present in the plasma are the food materials. and these food materials are actually the absorbed food and get transported by the blood in our body. The food material gets absorbed from the intestine by the blood, and then it has to be taken to the places where it actually gets utilized, like liver. And this food material includes glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, and other categories of fatty acids like monoglycerides, and even glycerol. We will talk about these absorbed materials in the digestion chapter later on. When we are talking about these, we should also understand that how much is glucose is present in our blood or plasma. That is a normal sugar level. And it should be 80 to 100 milligrams per 100 milliliters of blood. And because the glucose is present in our blood, that's why it is also known as blood sugar. And this is the normal blood sugar level, that is 80 to 100 milligrams per 100 milliliters of blood. And if it exceeds their limit in the blood, then the person has to suffer from the diabetes mellitus. If it exceeds 180 milligrams or more per 100 milliliters of blood, then the person has to suffer from the diabetes mellitus or the hyperglycemia disease. In this situation, the person has to suffer from the diabetes when the concentration of the blood sugar increases, or this condition is also known as hyperglycemia. And if the blood sugar level falls, then that situation is known as the hypoglycemia, or in other words, the person have to suffer from the hypoglycemia disease whenever there is a fall in the blood sugar level that is below 80 to 100 milligrams falls in blood sugar. Then the condition is known as hypoglycemia. So this was all about the sugar level. Normal sugar level, that is 80 to 100 milligrams per 100 milliliter of blood. If its concentration increases in the blood, then the person have to suffer from the diabetes. And if its concentration falls in the blood, then the person have to suffer from the hypoglycemia disease. And the next thing which is present in the plasma are the regulatory substances. And these regulatory substances can be hormones, vitamins, and enzymes. The hormones which are produced by the endocrine glands, that is the ductless glands, they pour their secretion, that is the hormones, into the blood, from where they are transported in our body. Vitamins, after they get absorbed, they are also transported by the plasma, which is the part of blood. Enzymes are also present in the blood. Not all enzymes, some of the enzymes are present in the blood. And now the last category of the substances which are present in the blood are cholesterol, Liver synthesizes the cholesterol and it pours its secretion, that is cholesterol, into the blood, and from where it gets circulated in the body through blood. Cholesterol helps in the formation of vitamin D synthesis. It is also required for the formation of steroid hormones. It is also required, that is cholesterol is also required for the formation of bile salts. When we talk of bile salts like sodium taurocholate, sodium glycocolate, we will talk about these bile salts in the digestion chapter later on. So this was all about the cholesterol, that is it is required for the formation of vitamin D, steroid hormones and bile salts. And the cholesterol level, that is a normal cholesterol level which should be there in the plasma, is 50 to 100 milligrams per 100 milliliters of blood. So it is the normal concentration of cholesterol which should be present in the blood in a normal person. If it exceeds their limit, then the person have to suffer from the problems related to the blood vessels or heart. So this was all about the plasma. That is, plasma is the 90% water. It also consists of inorganic ions like sodium ions, chloride ions, food materials, regulatory substances like hormones, vitamins, enzymes, cholesterol. So this was all about the functions of the plasma. In the next segment, we will start with the corpuscles like RBCs, WBCs and all. So I hope you like this video. So subscribe my channel, The Biology with Avi Sir, and share it also.